Today I'd like to talk about Jack in the Box's Munchies under $4 menu, their new value initiative to try and, I guess, win back people to Jack in the Box. And I want to talk about it in the broader sense of fast food in general. This is going to be an extremely nerdy video about fast food prices and corporations and all that good stuff. So if you're not interested in that, the long and short of it is the under $4 Munchies menu sucks. It is, I would not say scam because I don't want to be sued, but it is not a good value and it is terrible in every way. But we'll get deeper into that right now. The idea of this is the same idea that Taco Bell had earlier it was last year with their new cravings value menu when they had their initiative to make their new under $3 menu. Jack in the Box is essentially copying their formula, but they're going to $4, which is frankly baffling to me, insane. And they're following that format of bringing some value items that they already had to the new menu while adding like a couple new things to try and kind of fool people into thinking it's actually a new menu and calling it that it's going to be under this amount menu, which means most things are probably going to be $3 plus. When they say under $4 menu, I assume most things will be in the $2 to $3+ range, and there will be almost nothing that starts with a 1. I'd be surprised if maybe the French toast sticks start with $1, but everything else I'm certain will be probably $2 plus. And they're going to raise prices while they do this. It's the same method as Taco Bell. They introduce this new menu, they advertise it, they push it on people, they say, hey, they put out a press release, here's our new value menu for all the value-oriented customers. We know you guys, you're feeling it in your wallets, so it's time to go back to Jack in the Box because we've got new value. And it makes my blood boil when I read these things because, you know, obviously it's somebody's job to market Jack in the Box. That's what they do. But the blatant kind of, I can't say lies, but the exaggeration, let's say, of the value that they're offering is so, like, anger-inducing in me when I think about just the corporate greed going on, because that's all it is. And you may say whatever because it's fast food, and that's something I struggle with from time to time is why do I care so much about fast food prices? Obviously, I'm fat. I probably shouldn't be eating as much fast food as I am, and I'm broke, so I probably shouldn't be buying as much fast food as I am, which is going to tie into this. But the point is, these things are going along with everything else. The ridiculous prices of 2024, the inflation, all that good stuff is pure corporate greed. 90% of the time, whenever you see the price go up, it's not because the price needed to go up to maintain the business. The price maybe needed to go up 5 cents to maintain the business, but it's going up 25 cents because they're going to make more money. Inflation is essentially a trick being used by these corporations to raise the prices higher than they need to and make record profits off of it. That's what they've been doing since COVID. And it's just gotten more and more blatant as time has gone on, and I feel like more and more people are catching on to it, which is part of the reason why I wanted to make this video and just say, hey, even if you know, fast food isn't that important to you, and really it probably shouldn't be, you know, vote with your wallet. That is a legit thing. When you see something like this, when you see a company like this just blatantly raise their prices on value items and try to trick you by calling it something new, or you see them just raise prices silently and not say anything, while simultaneously getting record profits and not really raising wages, maybe a little bit, but just so they can say that, so they look good at a glance. Just, you know, be a little bit more aware. That's all I want. You know, it's not that serious, right? It's fast food, but, you know, if you see something like this, just stop. You know, that's me. Like, I saw this and I thought, well, I guess I'm not going to Jack in the Box, at least for a while. Like, you know, I'm human. I'll probably end up going back to Jack in the Box, you know, maybe 6 months from now. But For now, I will definitely never buy an item off of this under $4 value menu, because I'm insulted by the sheer concept of it. Let me go over it a little bit before I dig too deep, which I already have. This is going to be a really rambling video, so hopefully you're following me. But their new under $4 value menu is going to include, here's the items, Junior Jumbo Jack, 5-piece tiny tacos, and we'll get back to this, 4-piece chicken nugget, 3-piece French toast sticks, a junior chicken sandwich, a junior cheeseburger, a fucking grilled cheese sandwich, value fries, a junior bacon cheeseburger, and a value drink option. Okay, that's their under $4 menu. Now, I want you to take a look at this picture for me. Hopefully it's clear. And tell me if anything in this picture looks like it's remotely worth $4 or even $3. Because when I see this, and you're going to see the ring light reflection, but whatever. When I see this menu, and I see all this crap, all these value items that were $1, not even a couple years ago, advertised as the under $4 menu, you know, I feel like I'm losing my mind. It's just blatant. Like, they're not even trying to hide it. At least Taco Bell went to the under $3, and they raised their prices a little bit, not a lot, but I hated them for that. I'm not a fan. Taco Bell, I think, is making bad moves, but this is even worse because it's to an insulting level. Like, I mean, maybe it's just only going to be insulting probably to me and other nerds who are into fast food and or other broke people, which is really the kind of people they're trying to trick. That's what pisses me off about it. Because I'm broke, I shop the value menu, I compare prices all the time. Every dollar is important to me, every cent is important to me. I'm always looking for deals, using coupons, all that good stuff. And when you are one of those people, or you're forced into that situation because you don't have the money to not be one of those people, which is the case for a good amount of people, you notice these things. You notice when they're going to put these two tacos, which has been $1 for a long time, right? You would say, if they raise the price, 50 cents, you'd be a little annoyed. I'd be a little annoyed, right? If they raise it 29 cents, I'd be like, cool, that's fine, I understand. I guarantee, and I don't know this, but I pseudo guarantee that 2 tacos will be more than $2 after this menu launches, and that everything that is currently on this menu that is on the Jack in the Box menu now, like the Junior Chicken Sandwich and the Junior Jumbo Jack, are going to be raised in price. And there's another insidious method that these companies use besides the kind of smoke screen. The first method they're using is the smoke screen of, hey, there's a new value menu. Now, for the majority of people, that's all they're going to see is, hey, there's a new value menu. They'll go try it, and that'll be that. They'll be like, man, the prices are high, inflation's crazy, and then they'll be like, oh, well, I guess that's what it is, and accept it. And that's the core problem here, is that people just accept it because inflation is a thing, which it is, but you can't accept these facts straight from a company's mouth because they're lying. They're out to get your every cent. They don't care about you. They care about your money, and they're going to overcharge if they can, and that is what is happening. And the way they're doing that, number 2, with this menu specifically, and that's even more insidious, is by introducing new menu items like the sourdough, like the grilled cheese, right? That's what they're adding to this under $4 value menu. How much is this grilled cheese going to be, I wonder? I'm thinking it might be a little pricey. I'm going to say probably in the $3 range for a grilled cheese, which doesn't make any sense to pretty much anybody in the world. Like, why would you pay that for a fast food grilled cheese? Now, the reason they're doing that is that they can say it's a new menu because they have a new item while they increase the prices on the old items. And the trifecta, the third thing that caps it off, the third greed move to pull every cent out of you without you knowing, is they change the amount of food you get. Shrinkflation. Everybody is, I think, catching on to this now. It's all long been a thing. But it is also a thing in fast food that is very insidious that you will never notice unless you are a crazy person like me And even then you might not notice. Like, there's occasions where you might get something smaller and you might think you're crazy. Maybe it is smaller, maybe it isn't, but you won't know because you don't work for these fast food places. And since I'm a crazy person, I do research on Reddit and like look up employees and ask questions because I'm stupid, to figure these things out. Now, what they're doing here, I don't know if they're going to change any of the sizes of the burger patties or anything like that, but on the face of it, they're blatantly doing something here with the tiny tacos and the 4-piece chicken nugget, but mainly the tiny tacos, that is really disgusting in my opinion. Right now at my Jack in the Box, you can get tiny tacos. There's only one size of tiny tacos. It's 15 tiny tacos for $4. That's what it costs. And it's $4, just regular price. That's not a promo. And it's been that way for a good while, but it was cheaper before. It was $3.49, then it went to $4. Here we are. Now, this is going on the under $4 menu is not, what's going on the under $4 menu is not the 15-piece taco. Well, that would be fair if they said, hey, 15-piece taco is on here for $3.99. I'd be like, all right, I guess that's fair, that's legit. But that's not what they're doing. What they're doing is putting a 5-piece tiny taco on the menu. Now, how much is 5 tiny tacos worth in your mind if 15 tacos is $4? I think a fair price would maybe be $1.50, max $2 possible. But at $2, you're getting 5 when you should be getting 7 or 8. But of course, there's some economics in there. That smaller sizes you pay a little bit more. That's understood. So $2 for 5 maybe would be fair. I don't know how much these are going to cost, but I'm very sure it'll probably be higher than that. And even if it is, let's say, $1.79 or $1.99, it's still nefarious because they're trying to get you by getting you to get smaller portions where they can charge more, so you'll get more items for a higher margin, if that makes sense. By putting this menu out at somewhat cheaper prices, they might get you, if you're somebody who might have bought 15 tiny tacos for $4, you might get a tiny taco and a burger and some fries, a value fry, and then they're making way more money off of you by spreading it out, because you're not going to get 15 tacos for a good price. You're going to get 5 tacos for a not good price and a bunch of other little things for not good prices. That's a strategy that has long worked, and there are many good videos out there that I've watched on YouTube and that I would recommend to a lot of people, but I don't have specifics. But there are many good videos out there that will teach you about these kind of economic tricks that try to get pulled on us, and it gets crazy. The strategy there is what keeps poor people poor and what keeps the rich rich. It's how the economy works. It costs more to be poor. That's the matter. That's the fact of the matter. Because you buy value-sized things and you buy things that break and things that don't last because you can't afford the good ones. Whereas people who already have money can buy good things that last and have value and hold their value, and maybe you can resell. Or they buy better products and better food, which gives them better health. They have access to all that good stuff. So that's the point. That's just the world, but now it just feels more blatant when Jack in the Box hits you with the under $4 menu as a value. When I see $4, I'm out of value pricing already. Like $3 was already kind of like, what are we doing? But under $4, I'm missing the value, because now you're approaching $5, and once you hit $5, that crosses the Rubicon of like price value. You can't call something $5 a value, but they're going to, and I'm wondering how long it's going to take. How long is it going to take for a company to say we have a new value under $5 value menu and push the envelope even further? And that's what's going to happen if people don't, stand up to it. And I don't mean like dramatically stand up to it. Just stop going to Jack in the Box. Just say, hey, I see that this company is trying to rip me off, and go somewhere else. That's it. And if you have a, social or whatever, or you're talking to somebody, or you're at work, or you're, having a random conversation at the grocery store, you bring it in. Say, hey, did you hear about this value menu that they're ripping people off with? and spread the word, because that's the only way you're ever going to counteract these things, because these companies are going to keep pushing it, and they're going to keep using these tactics, which 90% of people are going to fall for, because they're not looking any deeper, because it's fast food and it's not that serious, which I understand. And I understand if you're watching this and thinking I'm crazy for saying, to post about it or make a video about it or say or bring it up in a conversation, because it's not that big a deal, which you'd be right. It's not, but it's just indicative of the state of the entire world, and it's only going to get worse unless, as a consumer, you push back. And that's just the way it is. And you can't just accept these companies saying that it's a value. It's not. You can't accept at face value anything a company says to you. I don't care what corporation or company or whatever it is. If you're a fan of something, you gotta question them. I'm a fan of Capcom. They made Resident Evil 3 Remake. They kind of screwed it up. I still kind of liked it, but they screwed it up in a lot of ways. People get mad about it. But there are many people on the internet who will ardently defend it and say it's great. And they might believe that, or they might just really love Capcom and want to push the narrative that anything they make is good. And there are plenty of those people in the food space. Part of the reason I made this channel is because the food review industry on YouTube and TikTok is very, very, very much overwhelmed by shills. And not even necessarily people who are explicitly out to shill, just normal everyday people who are shilling for these companies without realizing it, by making these review videos and never saying anything critical. Because 90% of food reviews I watch, I'm trying to see if the food is actually good, but most of the time what I get is people saying, oh, it's good, being very vague, and that's it. Like, food reviews, the whole space on YouTube for fast food reviews is frankly not very healthy. There are only a couple of bigger channels that will actually criticize food and hold a corporation to the level, which is what is needed in any industry to keep things good. There just aren't any figures there. There's nobody who can put out a video on YouTube and criticize a food that will cause a company to really respond, that lives in the fast food space, if that makes sense. There's no specific food reviewer who could dunk on this under $4 menu and actually cause a reaction that Jack in the Box would see and feel. There are plenty of influencers who could do that, but not in the fast food space. In the fast food space, anybody big, for the most part, is not critical and will not ever call out anything like this, because they want to work with these companies to make money. That's their job, that's their life. So even if they don't like something, they softball it because, they want to maintain the status quo. They don't want to rock the boat. And it's only really small channels that can talk shit like me, because I don't make any money. That'd be great, but I don't. There's no vested interest in here, because nobody watches these videos. So I just want to spread the word and say, stop. And specifically to Jack in the Box, it's insulting. As somebody who was a fan of Jack in the Box, I'm a fast food guy, as you know, if you're watching this video, and I'm done with you guys for a while. Unless something changes, I can't take this blatant, scam. Not scam, sorry, this blatant alleged scam that they're pulling on people to rip them off at a time, especially now when everything is getting worse and worse, and it's just going to keep getting worse unless people embrace the fact that you have to question and challenge anything a company says to you. Don't accept anything. If they say the price is going up because it costs more for them, say, I want proof. Tell them, no, literally, say what is going up that's causing this, because they'll say, oh, wages are going up, so prices have to go up. But there's no correlation there directly. There might be. Maybe prices had to go up a little bit because of wages, but then they raised it a lot and blamed it on wages while they rack in the profits. And that's constantly happening all the time in every business. I don't care how wholesome they appear to you. I don't care what their messaging is, what their PR is. It's all a stunt to get you to spend money. Especially pisses me off whoever wrote this Jack in the Box press release. I am especially annoyed with you for the words you used here. As the only place to offer true variety to tackle any and every craving you might have, Jack in the Box is committed to maintaining that variety at a value that still leaves some extra cash in your pocket, which is not correct because you're in fact charging more. And with a history of providing a variety of affordable munchie options to its fan, Jack in the Box continues to create new ways to stretch your dollar. Also incorrect. They continue to create new ways to stretch your dollar into you spending more dollars and then making more money. So just always remember that. It's all spin. Everything is coming from a point of view. Don't accept any price increases at face value. Always question. Always be a discerning consumer. Otherwise, everything is going to keep getting worse. And that's that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I will see you all next time.